Okay, hi everybody, Baruch Hashem. Here we are, about 2.5 weeks before the big day, Rosh Hashanah, Yamin Noraim, and we're still probably struggling to see what we could do to get ourselves ready for Rosh Hashanah. So Baruch Hashem, I was looking at, obviously this is Parashah, and a few points that I got from Rabbi Miller, and a few stories that could help us go into probably this last 2.5 weeks to try to get ourselves a little more motivated and to start a B'ezrat Hashem movement in order to prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah. First of all, this Parashah Tavo, in the beginning we know about the Parashat Bikurim, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mesaveh us to a person who has first fruits. After 4 years, you should go and bring the fruits that he worked for 3 years. He can't touch him, is Orla. And then the 4th year is Hilulim. He wants to go and take that the first fruit that he says is ripened, to take a nice bite out of it. And then Hashem says, no, you have to come and bring it to Yerushalayim, to the Kohen, in a teneh, in a basket, and you should offer it as a sacrifice, and say this whole Yidui. And you know that the Torah is very stingy with its words, but when it comes to over here, it says a lot of words to describe what the person should say, how he has to bring the whole history, going back to Mitzrayim, Arami Oved Avi, Ve'eled Mitzrayim, V'agor Sham Mimtei Me'ad, and then became a very big nation. What is all this history about? Just come and say thank you, go home and eat. Why is Hashem telling us that you have to do this? Obviously, He's not telling us to do it for Him. He's telling us to do this for ourselves. And the answer is Hakarat HaTov. All of Judaism and Yahdut, as we all know, is based on the foundation of Hakarat HaTov. To say thank you to Hashem for whatever He has done for us, is doing for us, and will do for us. Going back to the first mistake of Adam HaRishon, when Hashem asked him, why did you eat from the tree that I told you not to eat from? Instead of saying, I made a mistake, you're right, I give it to my taivas. This is the wife that you gave me. She told me to eat and I ate. Kafui tova. Throws the teak back to Hashem's face. Kivyachol. Chas v'shalom. Hashem says, I gave you a wife. I gave you life. I gave you food. I brought you to this world in order for you to get on Haba, and you throw it back at me? Kafui tova. So how do we have to come and get away from that mistake of Adam HaRishon? This week's Parashah, Hakarat HaTov. Come to the Beit HaMikdash after 4 years of working your land, watering the fruits, enjoying the first fruit coming out. Your eyes is seeing what Adam HaRishon saw in Gan Eden. As it says by Chava, it was nice to the eyes. She wanted to eat the fruit. No, first say thank you. Hashem says to bring the fruits, don't touch it. You might say, what do you mean, why? Why not? I work for it. I can't even put water. I came in the sun. I came in the cold. I put all these fences around so the animals shouldn't attack. Let me eat it. I did it. Hashem says, you didn't do anything. Come to me in the 4th year, bring the fruits. Even though you're drooling down, there's water drooling down your mouth and you want to eat it, come and bow down and say the words, thank you. Hashem, I know that everything that I did, none of it could be done without you. Of course, you told us to do the ishtadlut. We could have done all this without us doing ishtadlut, but this is the world you created, and this is what you want us to do. In order for us to work for the mitzvot, for the reward that's going to come. And that is a lesson Hashem is teaching us, to come and say the whole history, from the beginning to Yaakov Avinu, one person being chased by Esav, being cursed by Lavan. Lavan wanted to kill his own children and grandchildren, didn't care. Arami Oved Avi, all the way down to Mitzrayim, finally 70 people. And over there we're put to slavery and we're beaten up, and the babies are put into walls. Although all these things happen, Hashem, against all odds, made us into millions of people. 3 million people We're standing in Har Sinai from 70 people in 210 years. That's a lot of growth. And then all the things that happened to us in the Midbar. Getting the Torah, getting the man, coming to Eretz Yisrael, driving on the 7 nations. After 300 years, building the Beit HaMikdash. And finally you're about to bring the Bikurim and says Hashem, stop! Understand where you came from. The Tipat Srucha. Who do you think you are? Say thank you. And that's what Hashem is telling us this Parashah. So too, a story is told, I think it's been told by on Baron Rothschild, or it could be another person, somebody who went from rags to riches. Actually, it might be somebody else, because they're always bankers. But over here, we had a royal son, a shepherd, a simple shepherd who made it big and he became super rich. And the people around him, they became the goyim, they became so jealous of him. And they started to go to the king and say, this guy, to the IRS, pull his file. He's not paying taxes. This guy's a multi-billionaire and he's getting only $10,000 a year. Go check him out. The king sends the IRS to his house, checks out this room, that room, that room. There's one room he says, please, I'd rather you not go in there. Obviously, the IRS is not going to listen to him. Get away from me! Obviously, over here is all the gold, all the riches, all that. We're going to get him now. They break the door down. They go inside. And they see a kever. The guy dug out a grave for himself. He's like, what is this? They go into the kever and they see the clothing of a shepherd. Worn out, torn. It's like, what's going on over here? So he says to the king, that's why I don't want you to open the door. I know that when I became rich, the Yitzhara came and told me, oh, now you made it big. It's all about you. Forget your past. Enjoy the today, the present, and have gava and be haughty about the future. Because you don't have to answer to anybody anymore. Forget where you came from. But I took the Yitzhara by hand and I made this grave for myself, and every once in a while I go into this grave and put this clothing back on to see where I came from. Not to forget where I came from, so that I could still remain humble and say thanks to God that He brought me this far. So to over here, this is the story of Bikurim. Hashem says to us, don't forget where you came from. Although now you have riches, you have a wife, you have children, you have a car, you learn in the kollel, and all this, it's me. It's not you. Say thank you. And that's why Rivkah Melech Zatzal teaches us one of the ways to prepare in Elul all year round, but especially in Elul. When you're doing Cheshbon HaNefesh, we look back over the year. How many good things did Hashem do for you? Where were you in the beginning of the year and where you are now? And don't tell me in the beginning of the year I was better than that. Because every day that you wake up in the morning and you breathe and you drink and you eat and you can walk and you can see, you're much better than yesterday. Hashem gave you another chance to live. Yeah, so many more mitzvot that you did from last year to today. So much more went into your bank account in the world to come. So say thank you. And that is the best thing that Hashem wants to hear from us. This guy is saying thank you for all the things that happened last year, even though there was a lot of punishments here and there. He got a slap from me here. He got a puncher over there. He lost some money over here, but he's still saying thank you because he recognizes that I want everything that I do for him is for the best. Let's give him another year. But this year, it's going to be a better year because he did Cheshbon HaNefesh. He said thank you. He was not a Kafui Tova. He's Makir Tova and he has Hakarat Tov. That's number one. Number two, we go back in the Parashah. All the curses that we see, they should all go on Amalek, and all the blessings should come on Am Yisrael. But the 9 curses over here, in the middle there's a stop. And there's a kind of a reason why all these things are happening. And this pasuk is known to everybody, but we're going to read it in Hebrew and translate it again. Why are all these things happening? The guy is asking himself. And these are terrible curses. Terrible things that are happening. And the answer is Tachat asher lo avartacha et Hashem Elokecha betuv levav umerov kol, because you did not do the avodah of Hashem, when you do the mitzvah, when you went to shul to put on tefillin, I have to do this again. I have to daven again. Every time he's davening, he's looking at his watch. Yom Kippur also, when is this fast going to end? Tisha B'Av, how much I have to sit on the floor? This mitzvah, that mitzvah. What else? He's like a robot. He's doing it. But lo b'simcha. Lo b'tuv levav. Hashem says, this is how you want it. You throw it back at me? I'm giving you all these things and you throw it back at me like this? I don't want this. What if you say right up to Shavav? Who asked you this? To trample my Beit HaMikdash? How about somebody would close the doors? I don't want a robot. I have enough robots in Shamayim. Malachim are robots. They can't grow anymore. But we could. Based on the choices that we make. Based on the mitzvot that we make, we do. We choose to do good. And we become even better than angels. But chas v'shalom, there has to be the opposite also. If a person does averot, it becomes much less than behemot, less than chayot, less than animals. But this is, like it says in Kohelet, Zeh keneged zeh aseh Elokim. Sachar and onesh. Hashem brought us in this world in order to give us schar. But in order to be a fair test, He has to also give us the opposite also. But as the Jewish people who have the Torah, and it says in the Torah, we're going to see soon, Uvacharta b'chaim, Re'an natati lecha, bracha u'klala. I'm giving you blessing and curses. Choose! Make a right turn! Choose the blessings. Another story is told also. A person, before the story, I want to say that Rabbi Rivkah also says, another way to get it in touch with yourself and to use Elul constructively and going to Rosh Hashanah is to be sameach b'chalko. Are you a person that's happy with what Hashem gave you, or you're always complaining? Like we said, that the person is always doing the avodah, lo b'simcha, tachat shelo avodat Hashem b'simcha, because he's always complaining. I wish I had this, I wish I had that, my wife is not good enough, the children, that children is better, that house in Beverly Hills, that house in this. Are you doing that? Or Rabbi Rivkah Miller says, or if you see somebody in the street that's walking with clutches, he doesn't have legs, Barminan, or arms, he's missing an eye. The first thing our Miller tell us to do, Hashem made you to see that in order to let you know that you're not thanking Him enough. You're not besamech b'chalkacha, that you woke up this morning and you open your eyes and you put your foot down and you start doing something with your arms, mitzvot. You're not samech b'chalkacha. So that's another thing that Hashem wants us to do in Elul. To do review and be samech b'chalkenu on how much we have. Not that how much we don't have. Focus on what you have. And all of a sudden things that you don't have, they disappear. Because you realize that everything that you have is much more than the other people don't have. And the story is also told, that's going to get this point across, and with this finish, that there was a master lion tamer that had a student, apprentice, that always went with him, was learning the job along the way over the years, and this master was very good in the circus. When the lion came, the moment the lion saw the master, it would jump, whatever it is, whatever the master said, the lion would do. After many years, the student became very haughty, and he thought that he hasn't enough under his belt to become the master himself. He was not sameach b'chalko, that he was the eved all the time. He was the student. He wanted to become the master. So he told the master one day, thank you very much for all these years, but no thank you, I don't need you anymore. Step aside. I am going to become my own master. He puts in flyers all over. The big day comes. The new master's in town. The big circus in town. Thousands of people come to see this person because they knew who the master was. And they thought maybe he's become something like the master or close to. Comes the moment when the lion comes in. They open the cage. The lion comes out. And the student, with all his haughtiness, standing there, is taking the whip over there and is whipping, and all of a sudden sees the lion is walking towards him. He's not afraid. He's trying all the things that the master used to do. Nothing is working. The lion is about to jump on him and is about to rip him apart. Finally, from the crowd, the master, who also wanted to see what's going to be happening over here, stood up, ran into where the student was, took the whip, and did what he did, and the lion went away. When the student came around, the master told him, it's correct that what I taught you all over the years, but you don't know that I have something you never could have. What I have internally, that this lion could be scared of me from what I have inside. It's nothing what you do on the outside. It's not kochi v'osem yadi. It's the chen that I have. It's the favorite that I had that you could never have. So too with us. Sometimes we get so into gashmiut, all the good things that are happening that Hashem is showering us, that we become so haughty and we tell Hashem, thank you very much. Like Bar Kokhba said, don't be against us and don't be for us. I'll do it myself. And we saw what happened to Bar Kokhba. He got bit by a Nachash, the same Nachash that destroyed Adam HaRishon. When he did the Chet, so too this Nachash came and killed Bar Kokhba. So too we see over here, the Nachash is nothing but the Yetzahara. The Yetzahara comes and says to a person that you don't need Hashem anymore, Chas v'Shalom. You're on your own person. How much are you going to do all these mitzvot? Become your own person. You're rich. You're this. You're that. Look how good looking you are. You could have everything you want. Throw it all away. Until he finds out, sometimes too late. Sometimes the lion eats him up. But Hashem has so much rachamim, and every year in Elul comes and says, hello, it's me. I'm giving you all this. Wake up. Get off your high horse and become humble again. Realize that you have to be sameach b'chalkecha. Realize that you should have a karat tov, and with that we should go to Elul, and Bezat Hashem, with that kind of feeling, Hashem is going to say, this guy is the guy that is doing cheshbon nefesh. He recognizes how much I'm giving him. He recognizes how much that I love him, and he recognizes that it's not his kochi v'osem yadi, it's all me. Let's give him another year, but this year, a much better year, Bezat Hashem. Like we said, may all the curses that is combined over here, 98 curses here, and 49 in Parashah, the Chukotai, Gematria 147, according to some of the commentaries. Tehillim is not actually 150 verses. Prakim is 147 because 2 or 3 of them are written as one. And this Tehillim, when we say Tehillim on Rosh Hashanah twice, is Kaper, is Keneged these curses, B'ezat Hashem, that all these 147 curses, but the power of Tehillim and our Torah and our Mitzvot and Chasadim should all go away from us, should all go on Amalek, and all the brachot should come to us. And we like I said in this Parashah, and we should have a great year, B'ezat Hashem. Shabbat Shalom Varach.